Batman is playing Galaga.
Welcome to Retro Gamer with Tall Paul.
Thought we wouldn't notice, but we did.
Today we're going to try Ms. Pac-Man again, so let's go. I thought I'd tell the story of a high school legend named Harley Dawkins. I entered Anderson High School in the year 1987. I was a skinny freshman, and I happened to walk the same campus as a living legend. This senior was 6'5", 300 pounds, named Harley Dawkins. You know, stories are true when you hear them from not just fellow students, but from teachers and coaches as well. This first story about Harley came from one of his coaches, who told it in class. Now, Harley was on the football team, and I think he played 4 years of varsity football, being a big, massive, powerful guy. During Harley's junior year, he went into the cafeteria, and behind the counter of the cafeteria was a student working, had a ponytail and a hairnet, and Harley looked at him and said, "Hey, I don't want to see you in here tomorrow." Well, that student felt kind of threatened by this big, intimidating guy. So he went to his metal shop class and welded together 2 pieces of metal in the shape of a T. And he sharpened both ends of the T and hid it in his coat. The next time Harley saw that kid working behind the counter in the cafeteria, he said to him, "Hey, thought I told you I don't want to see you in here again." That kid pulled out that metal T, walked out from behind the cafeteria counter, and surprised Harley by hitting him in the face with this T. And one of the sharpened ends actually punctured his cheek. After that kid struck Harley, he ran off, never to be seen again at that school. And rightfully so, because I believe Harley would have killed him. One of Harley's football coaches, a teacher that I had for a health class, talked about how Harley had broken a teammate's leg in practice in the bottom of a pile during football practice. He said he snapped his leg just to hear it pop. I was told, never look Harley in the eye. If you see him, look down, look another direction, and just don't go near him. He seemed to be a tall, brooding character. In my freshman year, I was about 6'4", so we were close to the same height. Sure enough, I made the mistake of making eye contact with Harley when I walked through the locker room after school one day. He looked directly at me and then stiff-armed me into some lockers. I remember bouncing off this bay of lockers, and then saying thank you or something like that and slinking off, hoping that my interaction was over. I couldn't avoid the locker room after school because I was playing preseason basketball. So I tried to avoid it when football was changing out so I wouldn't run into Harley accidentally. Now, after football, Harley always played basketball. But this being his senior year, he decided that he would be a wrestler instead. Harley had never wrestled before in his life, but joined the wrestling team, quickly overpowering everybody around. That wrestling season ended up with him winning the state championship in his weight class, which obviously was the heavyweight class, after never wrestling before in his life. I remember watching the local news interview Harley about his wrestling skills, and they asked him how he developed his techniques. And he says, I don't really have many techniques. I just overpower people. Which is probably the understatement of the century. During wrestling season, basketball season was also going on. After school one day, I saw a blonde-haired woman in the boys' locker room giving one of the wrestlers a haircut. This older lady came into the boys' locker room, which I felt was really interesting. She obviously had a kid there, but I'd never seen a woman in the boys' locker room before. She was giving a haircut to a wrestler who had longer hair and obviously couldn't afford to go get his own haircut, but he had to cut it to be on the wrestling team. I was in the locker room waiting for my practice to start in an hour, so I began talking to her. She was very nice, and she asked me if I knew her son, Harley. Well, my mouth dropped open, and I thought, I am talking to Harley's mom. Oh, man. Being a stupid freshman, I mumbled something like, yeah, I know Harley. I don't think he likes me very much. And she said, he doesn't like you? Why is that? I said something like, he punched me into some lockers one day or something, not knowing why I even said that. Harley's mom proceeded to take action. She said, Harley, get in here. Into the locker room walked Harley Dawkins, 6'5", 300 pounds of this mountain of a man. Over me, a 14-year-old, 165-pound freshman, 6'4", skinny and scared. Harley's mom said, you see this kid, Harley? And now Harley's looking right at me. I'm scared, almost peeing my pants. Harley's mom said, Harley, this is a good kid. You don't mess with this kid. Do you hear me? Now, I'm thinking, I'm dead. As soon as this lady leaves the locker room, he's going to end my life. Harley looked at me and just said, okay, and he walked out. I kept waiting for Harley to kill me, either that day or the next week, but he never touched me again. He never said anything to me. It was like I didn't exist. I remember telling that story a couple years later to one of the football coaches. And they said, oh yeah, that's true. The one person Harley feared was his mother. So he must have been a good guy at heart if he respected his small mother. She was probably 5'6", telling this big guy what to do, and he did it. Now, banana level, this is where I always struggle, but I am close to a high score. You probably don't remember the last edition of Retro Gamer. I actually scored about 71,000 points, but I reset the game before it could be registered on the leaderboards. Since then, I have gotten to 64,000, but I have not duplicated that score. Dang it! We'll see if I can do it here. So years later, after I graduated high school, probably my freshman year of college, I attended a local JC. Now Harley has been out of high school for about 5 years, 4 years, 5 years. So I didn't think he was around town. And for some reason, I decided to go to Harley's little sister's house and hang out one evening. Harley's little sister's name was Arisa. So I'm at Arisa's house, and who walks out of the back room but Harley? And he seemed kind of nice. But as he left to go to bed that night, because he had to get up for work, he said, "Paul, don't be a stranger." He said it in such a way that I felt like he just wants to get me alone, so now he can kill me. That is the best screen break ever. I've never gotten past this level here. Let's see what I can do. I've beaten the fake high score above, but my all-time high score is 71,000. So we're getting close. So that night, when I was at Harley's house and he went to bed, and I'm sitting in the front room watching TV with his little sister, I hear from the back room, boom! Thinking, what is that? A few minutes later, I hear again, boom! And it scared me, like, what is happening? And I asked his little sister, what was that? I'll never forget, she replied and said, "Oh, that's just Harley rolling over in bed." A funny side note, I believe Harley is actually a friend of mine on Facebook, Harley Dawkins. Years later, I was substitute teaching at Anderson High School, and there was this girl in my class, and she was scribbling down notes like she was writing a whole book on what I was talking about. She just took such diligent notes. I thought, man, who is this girl? And I come to find out that she was a star on the softball team. Well, that girl was the daughter of Harley Dawkins, and it all made sense. And she became a legend in her own right. To this day, I respect the legend of that guy. A mountain of a man with a mean streak that you did not want to see. And here we go. I have broken the high score, and I might beat this level. Yes. You see it here, folks. Practice pays off. Any of you have stories about high school legends that you want to share? Let me know in the comments. It's hard to get practice at these boards because I rarely ever get to them. Oh man. See how many ghosts I can get here. Ah, they turned too fast. Down to my last life. For those of you still listening and watching, I really appreciate it. Take the time to like and subscribe. And let me know your thoughts in the comments. If you have anything you'd like me to talk about, or a story you'd like me to tell, or a topic you'd like me to talk about, just suggest it in the comments, and I'll do my best to get to it on the next one. Hey, I just passed that board. First time ever. Well, 75,000. Not bad. High score. Let's check the leaderboard. Well, I was at 2730 under J-Rock, and now I'm at 1,074. I've moved up 2,700 spots. I'm coming after you, Game God. Again, like and subscribe. Click the links for different videos. And thanks for watching.